Blues travel to QPR this weekend, but the drama of Lukas Jukovic's late winner over Sheffield Wednesday was the first topic for discussion at the manager's pre-match press conference.
Listen, that's what football's about, isn't it? You try to, particularly for us, you try to look for signings that you maybe see if you can get them in a, give them slightly maybe more opportunity to play. Of course, at Burnley, he's behind two fantastic strikers in Vokes and Gray, which would be difficult to dislodge at any group because they're probably one of the perfect pairings in the Championship, if not in other divisions. But yeah, he's a real good lad. We always knew as well that taking a player from Burnley, they'd have a strong work ethic, under Sean, and they'd know what winning's about. And we just thought if we can get a bit more confidence in front of goal, because he can start more games, and for him to score the winner the way he did was great for him. And you could see it on his face, couldn't you? And again, sometimes that's what the game's about. He works hard and he got his rewards, and he'll have had that unbelievable feeling of elation Saturday evening where he knows he's done his job as a striker, and he feels good about it. But as we know, you then come in on the Monday and you've got to go again. That's gone, and you've got to try and score more goals for us.
The substitutions played an important role in Blues' win over the Owls, and Gary Rowett expressed his delight with the attacking options now available within his squad.
We've got a bit more flexibility this year, I think, and that's one thing we've looked for. We knew we needed more goals, and we knew we needed perhaps to get more players in and around the final third. So we've changed formation, we've changed one or two ways we're doing things. I think Shay Adams coming in has given us that flexibility. He can play as a 9, he can play as a 10, he can also obviously play wide. Lucas, a bit of a target man, but he's got a bit more to his game than just that. But, and Clates can play a bit of everything really. He can run in behind, he can run and support another striker. So we feel we've got a bit more flexibility, and certainly could play any two of those three at different stages of games. And then of course you still have the option of a 10 in someone like Diego, who hasn't featured that much this season. So we think we've got different ways to win games, as I think we've proved in 3 of the last 4 games, and we've also got some strong options on the bench. So the attacking options are something we've tried to improve, but of course we never want to detract from being hard to play against and being difficult to beat.
Saturday's game will see Rowett come up against the man who took up the vacant position left by the manager when he opted to move to St Andrews.
When Jimmy was coming in, I spoke to him beforehand, tried to give him a few sort of indicators of how the club works and what I felt was important for him to know, the chairman, and how you can build a really strong relationship with him because he's such a good guy and he lets you get on with it. And then told him a little bit about the team and a little bit about the squad and what our philosophy was, and of course then I think he came in and adapted that brilliantly. I think he did what a lot of good managers would do, and didn't change loads, but changed enough to put his own stamp on it. You speak to the players about the training regime was probably in some ways harder than ours, and they found that difficult. But yeah, so I spoke to him a few times. Spoke to him obviously last season at the game. Not spoke to him recently so much, but he's a good guy, really warm character. And I've enjoyed sort of my conversations that I've had with him. So yeah.
After a good start, the Hoops have stuttered somewhat and are without a win so far in September. But Rowett knows his side will have to match the intensity of a team desperate for a win.
I don't know. I mean, again, it's very difficult to judge from the outside, isn't it? There's so many things that can go on in a football club that can affect a bit of synergy on the pitch, can affect the way you work as a manager. And I don't know the workings of down there, so be a bit remiss for me to suggest I do. But from the outside, it's always difficult. I think when you inherit a group, and then that's been relegated from the Premier League to the Championship, and you have to remember they've still got 3 or 4, I would imagine, of those players still there. And again, without me putting any sort of blame on those players, sometimes some of those players perhaps don't really want to be in the Championship, and it can still affect that, way the group works. So I still think they're probably in a little bit of transition, although I think there's probably the first time that he's brought enough players in to say that it's Jimmy's team effectively, and I'm sure they will get there. They started the season very, very well. looked very strong. I think they only conceded, well, I don't think they conceded a shot on target in the first 2 games, which was very Jimmy-like in the way that his teams work. And then, of course, the last 3 games they've not done quite so well. But I just think that gives you extra motivation. You know, we'll be facing a team Saturday that will be fighting for their lives, if you like. They'll be under a little bit of pressure to get that win. And we've got to try and make sure we have to match that desperation, because it'll be a really tough game.